Hello,
Hello.
welcome.
Hello,
Hello.
hello. Hi.
Hi. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
How
Okay.
exciting. So great to see you all. Oh my goodness. I wonder, do we want people to put, we have names, awesome, which I love. And do we want location? If you feel like putting where you're calling, zooming in from, we can see where you are in the world. If you want to, and if you don't have to.
How do
Welcome,
you
welcome.
do that?
So you find your name. Let's see, where is that? Your You, that's a good question right now.
So it's usually so if you have video on, if you want to rename yourself, you
Oh, the
can
three dots.
go over the three. So if you have your video on, you can hover over the three little dots, the three little ellipses in the upper right hand corner,
Uh-huh.
and then you can select rename at the bottom of
Oh,
that list, and then you
rename.
can add whatever you like. But we are inviting location. Martha was inviting,
Yeah,
sharing your location in the world.
only if you want.
Geographic location.
Yeah, we've got Oakland, California, Mendocino, Felicia, and
Got
the
Oregon in the house.
We do.
house. Beautiful.
Well, Mendocino. Okay. Hey, Dean. Nice to see you. Representing the Bronx.
Yeah.
While we are navigating that, shall I start by welcoming everybody?
Yeah,
Hello,
sure.
hello. We are so
Absolutely.
glad you're here. Welcome to Freedom Festival 2026. How many of you have already attended a Freedom Festival event? Woo! For those who, if it is your first time, a little introduction. And if it's not your first time, you get to hear it again because the story of the Freedom Festival is awesome, right? So, the Freedom Festival was started in 2023 in response to the desire to create through celebration, conversation, and play around what freedom means to us and to our communities. We celebrate and explore emancipation and independence. And in the US, that's from Juneteenth to the 4th of July, 16 days. This celebration is created by ordinary people, among them independent artists, scientists, therapists, and small businesses, giving and inviting others to explore what freedom and independence means to them and means to us and means to each other. We are particularly excited to have you attend this event, Aging for Freedom, generously hosted and organized by Helen and Martha. Woo! Let's hear it up for Helen and Martha. And I will pass the ball to Helen and Martha.
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
great. Yeah.
Carolyn, I want to thank you for zooming in all the way from Toronto and giving us the that sense of celebrating our freedom from Juneteenth to July 4th. And here we are celebrating our emancipation and freedom in each of our worlds and participating in something we think is reshaping the world. So thank you.
Yeah. So we wanted to start with playing some music, which talks about from, uh, aging, and we just thought it was very appropriate, and we really liked it. So we're gonna play that. It's only for a minute.
We're just walking this road, step by step in time. Little sparks in a grand design. Every year brings a clearer sight. There's a quiet grace in another sunrise. No need to race what we can't control. Every mile shapes the heart and soul. I believe as the days unfold, there's a kind of strength in growing old.
Helen, I love that video.
I
It
did.
was kind of short. Do you think we can play it again?
Yeah, let's play it
Okay.
one more time, and it gives people a chance also to come into the
All
room.
right.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah.
We're just walking this road, step by step in time. a grand design. Every year brings a clearer sight. There's a quiet grace in another sunrise. No need to race what we can't control. Every mile shapes the heart and soul. I believe as the days unfold, there's a kind of strength in growing old.
There's a
Great.
quiet strength in growing old.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. To playing that, Stephen. Have we introduced Stephen? Where's Stephen?
Stephen's hiding.
There's Stephen. Yeah, Stephen is our
Everyone.
wonderful tech person. And we thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
So yeah, so we thought we would welcome everybody to Freedom for Aging. And I'm going to introduce Martha very briefly, and then she'll introduce myself. But Martha and I met, we're not exactly sure, maybe about 10 years ago, but I organized and Martha attended a workshop called The Joy of Dementia, You've Got to Be Kidding, which was in 2019 in Oakland, California. And we had just an amazing response of people coming. It was in person. It was, I think, 2018, 2019, before COVID. And we had, out of that came, a lot of this work. And now, I'm doing groups, creating new performances of growing older. So we're expanding it not just around memory loss and dementia, but and Martha has all kinds of wonderful experience, both caregiving, caretaking in her life, and also improv, and has done all kinds of stuff in addition to in her former life being a physician's assistant. So she brings quite a few different skills to what we're doing today. Martha, pass the ball to you.
Thank you so much, Helen. Just so you know who we are a little bit, a lot of our connection is based in being activists in the world, both Helen and I, and finding creative ways to improvise our lives and with other people. And we're finding that as we get older and older, that's a really rich experience. So our histories are kind of feel different. But Helen is a social worker who lives her life anchored in being present and in the world, and in her work with the life performance coaching in San Francisco, as well as Eastside Institute in New York, leads workshops and coaching activities across many spectrums, but has focused primarily in aging lately. So, Helen, it was that memory of us participating in the joy of dementia. You've got to be kidding. I think I see that as our first really strong connection.
Yeah, great, good, thank you. So now we're going to have everybody introduce themselves very briefly. So what we're going to do is I'm going to lead an introductions game, and it's a game where we're going to say our name with a gesture and a sound, if you wish, and then everybody will repeat that, and then we'll go from person to person. Everybody will have a chance to do that. So I'll start, and then I'll pass the ball. So my name is Helen. And everybody repeats.
Helen!
Oh.
Oh!
Okay, I'll pass the ball to Martha.
Okay, thank you. And my name is Martha. Then everybody gets to repeat it with me.
Martha!
Martha.
Thank you. That was beautiful. And I'm going to pass the ball to Mary. Catch. You're giving us your name and a movement.
Mary.
Mary!
Mary.
Mary.
Now, Mary, will you pass that to someone else you see on the screen?
I'll pass it to Alyssa.
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 I will pass it to Mara.
My name is Mara.
Mara.
My name is Mara.
Mara.
And I'll pass the ball to Elizabeth Smith.
My name is Elizabeth.
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 Beautiful.
Now you can pass it.
Okay. I'll pass the ball to Eve.
My name is Eve.
Beautiful.
I don't have a
Bye.
gesture.
That's great. You just have our presence. Let's repeat Eve.
Eve.
And pass that to somebody else, Eve.
I'll pass it to Carol Gray. My name is Carol. This is an
Carol?
open.
My name is Carol.
My name
Carol.
is
Carol.
Carol, welcome.
I'll pass it to Dean.
Hi, I'm Dean,
Dean.
Hi,
Dean.
and I'm gonna first pass it to my friend Sean.
My name is Sean.
Aw.
Sean.
And who hasn't gone yet?
Has everybody gone Scott, Meridian?
Got Meridian.
My name
is
Felicia has.
Oh, and
okay.
Felicia. Yes, we have a couple. So you get to pick who. Is it going to be Scott or Felicia?
No,
Okay.
My name is Scott.
Scott.
my name is
Scott.
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 And Scott, did we get Meridian?
Say something.
Something.
Your name.
Thing.
My name is Meridian.
Meridian.
My name is
Meridian.
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 Great, great, great.
Okay.
Would Scott and Meridian like to pass it to Felicia?
We'll pass it to Felicia.
Okay. My name is Felicia.
Ooh,
Felicia.
Felicia.
did everyone go?
No, I don't think so. Felicia, what?
Carolyn.
Carolyn hasn't gone.
I'm passing the ball to Carolyn.
Thank you. I am Carolyn.
I am.
Carolyn.
Beautiful.
And
Oh,
who is Zoom user?
Oh, we still have an anonymous person. Zoom user, who are you?
That might be me.
Ooh, a voice in the dark.
Oh, who is that?
That's me,
I'm gonna guess.
Mr. Boom.
Oh, yes. All right, Mr. Could you say your name, please?
My name is Wood.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to. I just got on and I'm trying to set this up.
Okay, we'll bring you in. We'll bring you in here, Mr.
I'll
B.
figure out how to put my name in there or whatever.
Awesome.
Do you
Love
have a
that.
gesture you'd like us to do with your name, or that you can describe, or?
Sure. And you can just do jazz hands up to the sky from your mind.
Ooh, I love the
Awesome. Okay,
description.
Wood.
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 And Mr. B. Awesome. Awesome. Great. We'll let you land.
Okay.
Bring you in here. Beautiful.
Great. And everybody's gone. Okay, so Martha.
Righty. So I'm inspired by how I saw everybody moving into this space, and a lot of the work that we do is the environment is created by you and us together, and it really helps inform us to have your presence and all. And I want to play with some of what we just did and we saw and how we're using that space. And also, when we're sitting in front of the computer, we kind of forget to breathe and move our bodies. So we're going to start with just a little bit of, and in a big way, I want to appreciate everybody for being here. Just give yourselves a big hug, pat yourself on the back for getting here. Really actually saying, hey, I want to go and show up and be there with us. So I so appreciate that, Helen. I really do. And what I want to do is expand our space, and just by yourselves in your room, you can mirror each other, we can just play with it. But I want you to reach all the corners of your Zoom box. So you're going to look at yourself, as well as if you're in gallery view, you can play off of other people. But so reach into, let's go up just together for fun because it looks good. Reach the far corners, see if you're in there or not. If you don't have a video, just play with the space in your room. You might be really big and get to stand up and move around, but we're going to just make this a little bit more dynamic space and play with coming into the camera. Get close and big. And come away from the camera, get really small, go as far away as you can go. Feel free to move out of the screen for a minute. Take in a lot of rooms across the country that you're touching and hearing and seeing. Come back in. Move to the other corners of it. Stretch really big. Take a big breath. And we only have an hour, but we're going to take it slow. We're not going to try to rush. We're not packing everything in. We're just starting to get to play and work with you. So most importantly, know how much you're appreciated in whatever way you're showing up. We really believe in improvisation. The first and foremost is being here, whatever you bring. And if you're uncomfortable, that's just know that you can share or not. You do what you would like and be in here. Already you've contributed to the space by being here, giving us your names and showing up. So we also want to anchor ourselves in improvisation as there are no mistakes. We get to play with whatever's offered here in the room. And we love that. We love to play with that in creative ways that want to help us be seen in however we are. So we're going to play a little bit with, well, we're going to greet each other and appreciate each other for being here. We can't do that enough. And we did the name thing, so we know we can connect with our names. And I want you to invite each other a little bit deeper into the room by, I want to appreciate, we're going to play with pretending that you're greeting your long lost friend that you haven't seen in a million years. Just a long lost friend. And you're going to have a script. I'm giving you a script for this. And you're going to basically say, and I'm going to pick Elizabeth for my example. And I'm going to say, Elizabeth, it's so nice to see you. I'm going to have everybody repeat that because that's a line you have to say. It's so nice to see you. Elizabeth.
Elizabeth,
It's
so nice to see
you.
My next thing is, how did you end up here? So let's give her that question. How
did you end up
here?
Elizabeth, your line is going to be, and everybody else who gets that prompt, your line is going to be, I'm so glad you asked.
Yeah.
Want to help her out and give her back her line already?
I'm so glad you asked.
The next piece you get to make up, and it's only one sentence, but you get one sentence to say how you ended up here. You want to give it a try?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to start from the beginning of our little scene, and it is, Elizabeth, it's so nice to see you. How did you end up here?
Well, I ended up here through an invitation from Helen.
Beautiful. Let's all give her a hand. Thank you. Appreciate her offering. Now, Elizabeth, your line, you get to be so brave because you're our first on stage with this one, is you're going to say a person's name. It's so nice to see you. How did you end up here? And they're going to respond, I'm so glad you asked, before they give their sentence. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, Elizabeth.
okay. Sean, it's so nice to see you. How did you end up here?
I'm so glad you asked. Well, I heard about this from Helen and Martha and a lot of little birds.
Wonderful, Sean.
And what's the next thing?
We're gonna invite somebody else and say, it's so nice to see you. How did you?
Oh, yeah. Eva, fellow Oaklander, it's so nice to see you. How did you end up here? Oops.
You're on mute.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Sean. I'm so glad you asked. I ended up here because I'm finally able to take advantage of one of Helen's wonderful workshops.
Beautiful. Love it. I love the appreciations coming through.
Dean, how did you end up here? No, that's not the thing to say.
We celebrate
How
with
nice to
you.
see you, Dean.
Wow. Beautiful.
Eve, I'm so glad you asked. I know Martha. I'm in a group with Martha, and I'm a coach with Helen. So that's how I ended up here. So, but I want to say, Felicia, it's so nice to see you. How did you end up here?
I'm so glad you asked. Raquel and Martha came to an event of mine back in winter months, and I reconnected with Martha after 50 years. And so that's how I came to be here. It's another chance to spend time with her. So, Carolyn, it's so good to see you. How did you end up here?
I'm so glad you asked. I am involved with cultivating ensembles with Raquel Holmes and Martha and lots of awesome people, and am thus a big fan of the Freedom Festival and happy to join and excited to MC this session. Let's see who else. Wood! It's so nice to see you. We only heard you before. How did you end up here?
I ended up here particularly because I got a text about this from Martha, and I was a part of the play, the Juneteenth play, Enid's play, and I've been paying attention to the Freedom Festival, and I'm so glad that I was invited this morning. I was in a few meetings, and I got to get out of them because I'm like, I actually have a Zoom to go do. So that's how I ended up here. My birthday's in a couple of weeks. I'll be 50 in July 7th. And so, yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for the invite. And I will say, I will go to, where we go? Oh, Alyssa, I'm so happy to see you. How did you end up here?
I'm so glad you asked. Mary told me about this and invited me. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Beautiful.
And Mary, I'm so glad to see you. How did you end up here?
I'm glad you asked, Alyssa. I am here because I was lucky enough to cross paths with Martha on Saturday at a Freedom Festival backyard concert, and she said, "Join us today." Let's see, who hasn't gone?
We have Scott. Okay.
Okay. So, Scott, it's so good to see you. How did you end up here?
Meridian and I are part of the Senior Salon Group with Helen and Mara and Eve and Elizabeth. And we've been meeting together for since before the pandemic. Meridian was part of it. And then during the pandemic, I joined, and we've got to share many wonderful things with Helen. And it was her prompting that brought us. Bless you. Bless all of you.
Bless you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
And Mara, I'm so glad you could be here today. So good to see you.
Thank you. And I'm so glad to be here. And I got here because I've known Helen through the Elder Salon for many years. And I love the idea of different ways to look at freedom and the impact that aging has on our perspective of it. So thank you. And let's see, I think Helen.
Oh.
So nice to see you. How did you get to be here?
Mara, I'm so glad you asked. I was very interested in thinking about and hearing what others think about the connection between aging and freedom. And, it's something that I feel like we can create. So, that's why I'm here. Let's see. Has everybody gone that wants to go? I think so, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. So yeah, so we want to open it up and find out again not only how you got here, but your interest in aging, freedom, and how you see the connection, or how you don't see the connection, and how you might want to see the connection. Because I think this really is something to create together. And there's so much negative input around aging in our culture and society, that, it's just, I think I love to help create something new from that can be more positive or growthful, but something that I think each of us can create for ourselves, no matter what our life circumstances. Yeah. So anyway, how are you? What are you thinking about? How are you feeling? Any reactions so far to what we've been doing?
I remember, Helen, you asked me when we were beginning this idea, you said, Martha, how does that go together? What does freedom mean to you with aging? And I said, right out of my mouth came the freedom to make mistakes. It was just like, it was so liberating. So I get that.
Right. Yeah.
We can make a soup of associations.
And I also remember something you said to me, which was something like applauding, I'm losing my memory. Yay! Instead of I'm losing my memory. Oh, I don't know. Just something like that, making it more ordinary. Yeah, I like that a lot.
I could say something here, that when I saw Martha on Saturday, I said to her, one of the takeaways I had from Saturday was to hear how many people I've known for a long time who are my age, our age, who are still doing such interesting things. And so I still work and love what I do, but there's a part of me that feels like I've just pulled back from being in the world, in the active world of change, thinking that somehow that's something for the next generation, for younger people. And I think I've told myself that so many times lately that it was starting to sound true to me. I would say to myself, I'm not going to go to any professional conferences anymore because it's a young person's world there now, and I feel old in that room sometimes. And so talking to Martha, and hearing about what Martha and other people are doing, as if age has not really even been a consideration, is really interesting to me. Yeah, and I will say that I think I have this right. I hope there's no biologists among us, but I think it's true that very few mammals in the animal world, very few females live beyond their reproductive years. Once they have accomplished that, they die. But whales and humans continue to go for obviously for long, long periods past the reproductive time. And what is the reason for that? And of course, the reason is because we hold, the wisdom to pass on. And that's what I want to put my head in.
I love that. And I was just going to say what I've heard as someone who's approaching but not there yet. I've heard that is a very great freedom to experience, being past one's reproductive years as a woman.
Yeah.
May I riff off of what Mary was just sharing?
Sure.
Thank you. The minute you asked the question, thought of an observation that I made when I first moved to San Francisco. Now live in Oakland, lived in San Francisco for a few decades. What I observed is when I went to the area of Chinatown, San Francisco's famous Chinatown, that area where it kind of overlaps with the financial district and, North Beach. What you would see is older Chinese people living life outside in the sunlight. I was gonna curse. In the sunlight. And when I was in my 30s and 40s, I remember thinking like that's the thing. Just living life, just breathing, just observing, walking fast, walking slow, saying hello to people, not saying hello to people.
Lovely.
Thanks.
Should I choose someone? What were you saying, Dean?
Oh yeah, thank you, Sean. No, I love this idea of being out in the world. I think one of the things that I think about with aging, the connection between aging and freedom, is that I suppose every year, regardless of our age, I certainly think there's some things that I maybe not worry about, but I see coming up and I go, I wonder when that's going to happen to my body, or I wonder when that's going to happen to my mind or my teeth or my hair or my whatever. And then sometimes when that already happens, which in some ways is almost inevitable, there comes a bit of a freedom of like, oh, well, that happened. I don't have to worry about it happening anymore. What do I do now? Mm-hmm. So in an odd way, it actually frees you up instead of like, oh, what's going to happen when? Oh, it did happen. I'm still living. How wonderful. Let's keep going. That kind of releases me in some ways.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Like Scott and Meridian wanted to say something.
But then Scott left, so I know he'll be back, and I'll jump in. Freedom. And one of the things I love about being older at 76, I'm still, older and still younger than some people on the call, is giving myself permission not to identify with what I do. That I am. And what I do, I have a choice of what gives me joy, what fits my values, without it being who I am. And that is very freeing to me. I'm still in the process of stepping into that some days, but it is very freeing that my identity is not tied into that.
Mm.
I'll throw something in. This was my first time ever being invited to anything about aging. And being that I'll be 50 in a couple weeks, at first I was like, I saw the text and I was like, was that for me? Okay. I'm like, okay, I'll go. I actually was on the phone with my dad and was like, I'm going to check this out. My dad is 96. He's young as can be. My mom's 70. And she's a little bit slower, but my parents come from a place that is blue zone, so most of the people in my family have lived to about 110 and more. That's the average age of the people in that area. So
where is that area,
in Costa Rica? They're Costa Rican. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. On the Caribbean side. And so that has been, I tell my dad things that's going on in my life, and he says, yeah, the check engine light's coming on. I've lost a lot of my friends because I hung with older friends, and I left home when I was 13 and had been on my own and traveling the world since then, and found out that I used to want to have fun, but then I traveled and started talking with elders in different indigenous populations and asking them questions. A favorite place that I like to go to that my friends go, why? Is I like to visit lighthouses. I love lighthouses. And this is the place where I found to be the most common place where I can meet people that have been in together for the longest amount of time, other than a pinochle game that I went to where I was sitting with some friends, and the group of people playing pinochle, they have been together for 50 years. And I'm about to be 50, like we've been together for 50 years. So I'm like, wow. Interacting with people and at that certain age of 80, 90, 100, 105, and talking to them and thinking like, oh, for me, am I getting old? And talking to someone that's 80 is like, you're not old. And someone 80 talking to someone that's 110 going, you're not old. And realizing that the link between young or child, infant and elder got broken from society. So it seems so different and so distant, but then interacting, there's things that I can learn just by interacting and realizing it's not that far and it's not over and I'm not actually getting old. I'm actually now graduating from the school of life and just entering the school of existence. If that makes any sense.
Could you repeat that?
That I'm graduating from the school of life and entering the school of existence, where life itself is living. Existing is like, well, I've already figured out the living part. Now I know how to exist. Where my dad, when he's talking to me, the way he exists, he's not bothered by so many things, even the world the way it is. He says, every time this happens, people act this way. I said, how many times has this happened? He says, I'm going to lie, about 3 times, maybe 4, with what's currently going on and people taking. And he says, I believe that they try to just go 25 years, every 25 years something happens, and people end up feeling like they're too old to do something about it, and the system's hoping that they're going to give up, right? But as we come into this place, me particularly, the culture that I live in within hip hop culture, when I was young, there was nobody my age that I could look up to in hip hop. And now I am at the age where I'm able to share the things that I've learned. So it's not just entertainment or music or young people's music. It's a thing where it's an entire culture. And the things that we might rap about, the things we might sing about, the art we might create is not based on thinking that I won't even live that long. I didn't think I'd live past 21. Now it's at a place where, I can see the mistakes of youth and try to bridge that, as well as seeing that I see the bridge between the elders that earn forward. And not only that, while we are existing, there's another place where my dad taught me. He says, listen, we're the ancestors of the future. After you live from your life, gain the knowledge and gain the energy so that when their descendants call upon you, you can share that with them. So this is what I'm preparing for, of not just being 110, but then 300 years from now, my descendants calling upon me. And through that, I can learn things by interacting with people that are older than me, but also not old. And I can see and interact and be like, oh, people think they're old, but they're not old. They're in that level of, if I was in ninth grade and the seniors in high school, or someone in graduate school, or someone that's a doctor, but maybe a kid wants to be a doctor, and learning throughout these steps and learning how I can take care of myself. I got replacement knees, certain things happen. My dad's like, check engine light means you need to check your oil. You need to check what's going on. There's certain things I never even thought about doing at the doctor that my father has given me a list that he's like, listen, you're 50, you got to do A, B, C, and D. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, so I appreciate this invite, because I was sat there and was like, aging. I'm like, I'm not aging. And my father's like, yeah, you are.
You all are. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I want to welcome Michael in here into the room. Michael, thank you for joining us. Yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to read what Michael put in the chat. He says,
Thank you.
I'm 68, and this weekend I attended our 50th year high school reunion. Wow, class of 76, the bicentennial year. Cool. Is there anything are you able to come off mute, Michael? Is there anything you'd like to say? Or maybe you can't.
Or text or type. Yeah. And
Okay. Go ahead, Martha. What?
Oh, I just wanted to bridge Mr. B. Woodrow, the check engine light thing. I just was just kind of like, all of us can check our engine lights in different ways. And I love the engine light of existence because there's such richness there. And I think those of us that are getting closer to that can see the beauty of it and the freedom. There are elements of freedom to be able to start to laugh at yourself and laugh with others about some of the hard stuff. Dean brought up the hair and the teeth and the really wishing you could remember things and being nervous about losing your memory and not being able to drive or do all the things that come up. But there is a way that we can play with what are the new lights that pop up with us as we learn to navigate that, and doing that with other people. Finding ways to show up and be playful with the strength of all those other pieces. Michael, I will say, I'm going to go back to you, Wood, because that ability to bridge the world with elders is why I sent that message to you this morning. I'm like, you sparked up when I mentioned I was doing this workshop, and you're like, that is so important right now for us. And it was just like a beautiful response. It was a moment in time in the middle of a play, and you responded so beautifully. So there's bridges we can make that we don't even know we can do. Yeah.
Right. Now who else is there other people?
As I was
Yes, Scott.
Being here, what came up for me is that as we age, we still have the freedom and continue to have the freedom to show up in whatever way that means for us, or whatever way that feels good for us at the time. So as we age, what we do not lose is choice, and choice to. Thank you.
Beautiful. That's the whole hour conversation right there. Love it.
Right. That we can choose how we want to be and how we want to age. And I was also thinking, I recently read a book by someone who talks about being a centenarian, which is basically being 100 or more. And I really had never thought like that before. I had really thought, by the time I'm at 90, I'll probably be taken care of in some way. And if I live that long, right? And, I had already had this prescribed thing. And then when I read this book, I thought, oh, well, that's not necessarily the case. I might choose that I don't want to live that long given what's going on with me. But I also think there's something about frame of mind and that we do have the choice around all this aging stuff, which I honestly hadn't thought about so much before. Yeah, so I know it's one of the things I was thinking about. Yeah. And I'm so glad we have younger people here that are want to also bridge the gap. And of course, younger people have older people in their lives and vice versa. So, but it does seem like we really compartmentalize around aging. Yeah. So, yeah.
I was just going to say that what I noticed is that I really don't want to compete anymore. And I don't want to compete in the marketplace. I don't want to compete in my relationships. I don't want to participate in that form of community that comes around work and a certain time of life when it seems essential in our culture to take care of business. But I really want to seed the field to people who for whom it is right up there in the center. I got to make the rent. I got to do the thing. I got to do all this stuff. I got to have my friends. I want to have my kids. Am I having kids? Am I going to do da 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 questions? And they're always comparing notes and what's the right way and what's the wrong way and what are the rules and what are not the rules. And I just don't. I did that. I did that a long time. I did my part with that. And it's hard. I don't think younger people have a hard time hearing me say that. Maybe they welcome it. There are a whole lot of people out there in my age group and older that should step down and step away and spread their wealth instead of holding on to it. But I also feel like younger people really probably don't get it. Something that you have to, maybe it's just something we experience as human beings, or some of us experience. And I guess when I put it out there with people, I'm really just offering them the opportunity to hear that, listen, maybe not compute it, maybe not understand it for themselves, but it feels like a really important step to just step away.
To step
Can I
away.
invite you to share more about what it is that people don't know?
Well, just just for the sake of clarity, let's just call it making a living. This is essential. And we need to make a living as we age, but something has to change about it. I can't run as fast. I can't run as hard. I can't run as long. I'm not going to be able to beat, anyone young people at that game. That's a young person's game, as they say. That means something. There are certain things that are appropriate at different times of life, and it's really appropriate for me to step away from that field, to seed the field.
So seeding the field, Felicia, that's like a shiny object in what you just said and share. And I'm curious what seeding the field might look like to you or others in the room. What does it mean to be able to seed the field from a place of being an elder? Without being right. We don't have to know. We don't know what that really means. So, and I'm actually
I'll challenge whether it even needs to be at an elder so
Hmm.
much as the kind of leadership that we cultivate in environments like this, which is shared, which is co-creative, right? And so like sustainable leadership, I suppose, which is good. It's one where you can step away that doesn't rely on you, right? So healthy organizations have turnovers in leadership, right? Just by nature. And the time scale might vary, but I might argue that like whatever we are leading, we need to be prepared to seed the field. Otherwise, it's somewhat authoritative, right? By the nature of it, by the nature of our society, versus co-creative and nurturing, and in a way that will continue bigger than us. I don't know if
I'm
that-
wondering if seeding the field kind of can also means, and I don't know, this is what I thought of, is seeding the field is kind of like leaving a legacy. I
Passing
don't know
the
if that would be
torch.
part of it. What?
Passing the torch.
Yeah, passing the torch, leaving a legacy of some kind. Because I know I've spoken to a lot of elders who want to leave some kind of a legacy. And that I think is pretty open what that means. But when you mentioned the word seeding, that's one of the things also that I thought about. And also, Felicia, you had opened with, I think, wanting to back away from being so competitive, right? Being part of that. I don't know, we don't have to say rat race, but yeah, but backing away a bit from that, yeah. Slowing down, maybe?
I'd like
Maybe.
to toss in there for me, where I'm at and interacting with youth, I say passing the torch because due to receiving the torch, I feel like being around elders that I work with and they show me what they've done, I'm at a place where I can receive that. And I used to be at a place where I was just in the soil. So the seed was being sowed into me. And now I can receive that and hold that torch and pass it along to the people that are 24, 30, that in the places that I was in. And I was just watching this documentary about fire and how human beings have been built by fire and light, and that there used to be a person that would hold the fire going, because if the fire went out, you weren't be able to cook your food or anything. And holding that torch, you kind of know the path, right? And as we have this conversation, there are kids. I'm going to go run some kids zones with some toddlers and then go into high schools and talk to them. And they can't even fathom, the same way when I was 10, I couldn't fathom being 50. Right. But those people I was in school with, my mother still works in the same town. And the principal at one of the places she works at went to school with me. And so she's like, oh, remember when you was in first grade? And I start to fathom, like, playing and never thinking like you're going to be the principal. But now in that place, the things that I can pass along, no different than when I didn't listen to people older than me going, you can't hang out all night, you shouldn't drink that much. I didn't think about my liver and things like that. Now I can pass that along to people, like I say, within hip hop that respect me as an MC, as well as they don't even think. If I told them I was in a Zoom that was aging, they go, why? I'm like about to be 50, like, you 50? And then they listen because I rap. And that's their connection. And that can then be a bridge to, like, well, they respect it, where somebody else that's grown, they're like, that's a grown folk. They're detached from it. I think that part, that the system has created that. I will also add to that, from traveling, the age of people is very different, especially in indigenous communities around the earth, where there's people that are 80, 90, climbing coconut tree, building things. They can beat me in a race. They can swim better than me. They're stronger than me. And I think that in our society here, it's a very different thing than places where people have to be there lifting the wood and still doing that. And the health of doing these things within that time is an outlook that changes. But at the same time, you get to a place of like, well, I'm not going to lift this stuff, but I can tell you, hey, this is what we need to do, because at a certain age, you've made the mistakes, so you can actually not have to make the mistakes. You can pass that torch on for the path to be seen. And the seed, right, is in that field where we seed that. But then sometimes there's just the harvesting of the truth and of the life, right? And that's the holding hands. One holds to the future, one holds to this path. And that's what that bridge is. It just got broken. And I'm not at a place yet to understand most of it. I have replacement knees because my knees are replaced, and that's the thing. I can only deal with that when my father's like, "Yeah, you got that." Other than that, I still am not fully understanding. I'm still reluctant to even fathom that I'm 50, that I'm about to be 50. I still work like I'm a spring chicken, but then I'm like, oh, when I tie my shoelace, try to stand up, gotta watch out what's going on. My father can teach me. I could sit in this and fathom being at an age where I'm like, I used to not be able to. Am I gonna be alive? Like you said, like not thinking about if I'm gonna be there, but being in this place of going, I'm 50, and people say, well, you 60 people leave, and most humans that lived on Earth never lived till 50. And me realizing I'm probably gonna live till 100 years old. So it's almost like thinking I could be president. There was a time I didn't think I could be president. It was like far from the truth. Obama became president just as he became president. I'm like, wow, it might be able to happen where I thought aliens would come first. So
Anything's
the
possible.
the
Yeah.
things get pushed. We push that envelope or that barrier, that ceiling, and then those that are above that can pull up, and that's the system understands that, I think. So reconnecting that as we're here is such a beautiful and important thing that I want to try to bring back to the youth and high schoolers that don't. I think these type of Zoom should be with even like in high schools and workshops where people can have these conversations from the elders to the youth.
That's wonderful. Yeah, thanks, Woodrow. And also, I'm just concerned now about, because there's been some text about time. Unfortunately, Martha, did we want to still end the way we had talked about with people coming up with a word? And
I think a one word thing around the thing, and we can yes and it. We're going to just share quickly around one of the most powerful tools, I think, in any age, in any environment, especially in conflict or discord. When someone offers something, we often will say, oh, but there's a better way, or no, there's a way. We give a no. So we're going to give yes to whatever comes our way. And we can pop out words. I'm going to pull something from the chat. You're welcome to look at the chat. There's some really rich stuff here. And this is freedom from having to, let's see, I just moved it away from myself. Oh, thinking that there's one way to feel in our minds as we age. So I'm going to pop feeling. Anybody else can build. Felicia.
Yes, Felicia.
Do you have your hand up, or is that a frozen screen?
Oh, might be frozen, right?
Yeah. You can just pop up a word. Yeah. And people are looking at the chat probably.
Present.
Present, beautiful.
Relaxation.
Lovely.
Resilience.
Nice.
Lifted.
Choice.
Letting go.
Creativity.
Building. Oh, I said building.
Building. Lovely.
Joy.
Joy.
Powering.
Connections.
Connections. Beautiful.
Reminding.
Reminding. I'm gonna bring one of the songs a piece from the song we heard coming in. I don't know if we want to play it again as people go out.
Well, I
Helen,
think Carolyn has some announcements also. Yeah.
okay. So
Can I just chime in, because we are nearly at time? So I just want to
Yeah.
thank you all. It's so good to see you, each of you. So thank you all for joining us for Aging for Freedom at Freedom Festival 2026. Please visit our website. I put it in the chat, and join us for other upcoming events, and invite your friends and family and colleagues to join us. The next event is Wednesday, July 1st, Freedom from Drudgery, AI as a platform for creativity. So again, continuing to build at any age with the technology as it changes. And yes, and let's warmly thank Helen and Martha again, and I'll pass it to them to close if you have another minute.
Okay. So Helen, I was going to just say that the video we started with called Step by Step, and he says every mile shapes the heart, and I think the mile we spent in this last hour has helped shape all our hearts. Helen?
Amen. Yes. And now we want to dance out of our workshop. So Stephen, do we have some dancing music? Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Helen and Martha. Woo!
Thank you all.
Appreciate y'all.
So nice to see you. I love the hangers on. This is great. Meridian and Scott. Love to you.
Nice meeting you guys. Stay in touch.
And Michael, thank you for showing up.